So, hello everybody. We have Saksham with us today, and who's here to help us know more about the Canadian education system, and we're going to compare the two. So, first of all, let me tell you all that Saksham is a biology student. Saksham is a straight A student, so he would be the best person to talk about this. So,
Yes.
welcome, Saksham.
And
And
Gitanjali, we should not brag about it, but yeah, let's get started.
yeah, okay. So yeah, first of all, Saksham, let's get to the main point. And I would really want you to tell this us in detail. Okay. What's the curriculum is in Canada, like related to biology? What does the curriculum look like and how is it different from India? Because you have also studied in India. So what do you think is different between the two countries?
If we talk specifically about biology and sciences in general, the big difference is that biology as a subject is taught with the various sciences together. You know, it's not you're studying just biology. It has various components to it, which are useful from the other fields as well. How we see that statistics and math is important for subjects like genetics. So they'll actually have you do genetics with those subjects.
Hmm.
They are divided as compartmentalized portions, blocks, and you can choose the blocks and build on top of that. So that's how the system here works. It's not just biology courses and you stacking up on that. It's more like you build the skills, you get the tool set from one subject and use it for the other, and you
Hmm.
can choose what you're doing. First year courses, you will have general biology, and you'll be doing very basic stuff. But as you move forward, you know you'll have specific fields you can go into. A very good example is how going into the second year you'll have genetics, physiology, anatomy, and other subjects to choose from, and it's not a hard set path. You don't have to do those courses and just go into that field. You can actually start choosing beforehand where you want to lead to. And even if you don't, later on, if you feel like there's something else you had to study, you can take up some courses from the first year or take up some courses from the early period and build on top of that and do the later on courses.
So
So
basically, you have the flexibility to choose your own courses and just make your own way. Like that is what you're
yes,
trying to say.
exactly. It's a very flexible here. There's no one path to follow. There's multiple that can do the job, and you can actually do your degree, and you don't even have a time limit. So,
Okay.
yeah, you are able to do those courses at different times. There are some prerequisites to courses that you need to get. You cannot do higher level genetics if you don't do lower level genetics. So
Yeah, of course.
that is very obvious.
Hmm.
Other than that, there's no interfield stopping you. You can mix and match, and you don't
Hmm.
have to do just biology. You can have minors. If you
Hmm.
like biology, you do biology. But if you also have an interest in math, you can have math as a minor.
Like, let's just say that maybe I have interest in philosophy as well. So can I choose that as my minor subject? Would that
Yes,
be
yes,
possible?
you can.
Oh.
So what happens is every course has a credit assigned to
Hmm.
it. So usually courses go for 3 credits here. Some lab courses
Hmm.
will go for 4 credits. To have a
Hmm.
degree, you need to get 120 credits. So that's a set
Hmm.
number here in Canada. So once you
Okay.
achieve that 120 credits plus some other
Hmm.
requirements, you are able to graduate. And you can choose when you graduate. There's no fixed time to graduate. You can actually, be like, hey, I'm ready with the requirements and apply for graduation. And
Oh.
you do apply for it, and then you get that very good golden letter email that, hey, you did it and you are able to graduate now. You'll be graduating this summer. So
So if I want to complete my graduation within 3 years, I can do that, or within 4 years, I can do that.
yes,
It's totally up to me.
yes. The
Yeah.
time is set such that you are able to do it in 4 years. You can take
Hmm.
time more than that as it suits. Some people are involved in other activities. They are working, have businesses or stuff, and even if they
Yeah.
want to, pursue the studies, they can actually take more time. Some people do like to speed run everything. So
Hmm.
if you are able to take up more courses in one semester, you can do that. And the
Hmm.
semester thing is also very flexible here. You can there's three semesters in the year, and you can choose the courses to do in spring or fall or summers. Usually people take summer as a break, to do
Okay.
internships and stuff. But I think this system really separates itself
Hmm.
from what we do in India. India, I think, goes with a very rigid uh, one path lead system, and
Yeah.
that does not accommodate a lot of needs, you know.
Let's just say that I'm in my first semester or second semester, and there are two choices in front of me. Let's just say one is cell biology and the other one is genetics. So I want to choose cell biology first, and I don't want to choose genetics in my second or whichever semester I'm talking about. So can I do that? Do I have the liberty to choose one subject and not choose the
No,
other one? And
exactly.
yeah,
You can do
so,
that. Yeah, there's seriously no restriction on it. It's just that there's sometimes that the course may not be offered every semester. No,
hmm,
some courses are just offered in the fall term, or some courses are just offered in the spring term. But those are usually communicated well that these courses are only
hmm,
available for once per year.
hmm,
So
hmm.
if you need to take it, you need to take it in that semester. But it again comes down to the flexibility that those are the only kinds that restrict you in any way, and that's
Hmm.
also not a restriction. It's just what they are doing and they're telling you about it. You have the liberty to choose it or not.
Okay, okay. So, Saksham, I would like you to tell me more about the teaching methods that your professors basically, adopt, and how do they teach, and is it interesting or is it boring? What has been your experience there?
uh, well I would really like to say that studying here is a bliss. You don't go through stuff, you actually discuss stuff and you actually talk about it and you actually come up with the solutions and questions in class, and they are all answered and discussed. A very good example would be how first year courses are laid out. They are usually they go with you study something. First year is a very basic stuff, so
Yeah.
yeah, you don't really have a lot of hands-on things to do. So you go through some stuff, and then you have this discussion time in the classroom where you know manage to
Mm,
talk to others, and it's very free around the class. There's no limiting you where you stop or not. You move around the class, you do activities around it, and really like to put it in this way. It's really like playing with a toy, you know. It
mm,
goes something like that. You bring the toy, you tell about the toy, you talk about the toy, and then it's given to you, and you are able to, play with the toy. And once you play with the toy, once you know that, oh, this works like that, then you are told to tweak with it and, you know, try new things with it, come up with other ideas out of it. So
mm.
that's very much how classes are laid out here. And, it is actually a really, really, really nice system.
Actually, do you have debating sessions with other students of your class? Because in India, we usually don't have these kinds of discussions, as you've just told me. We don't discuss these issues, or we don't, discuss about the environmental issue. We literally don't talk about
Yeah.
that. So, what's your take on this? Like, do you have these debates with your classmates, and how are your, classmates? Are they cooperative or not? What's your take on that?
Well, about debates, scientific debates are highly encouraged. They happen a lot of times. Um, a very specific instance, I was doing a research project. That was the last
Okay.
one that I did. It was about these pigments in bell pepper, the red bell pepper,
Okay.
and we were told to lyse the cells and have
Mm,
better methods of taking the pigment out for use. We came up with ideas, we presented it to the class before executing them, and the corner of the class somebody shouted, "You cannot do it like that! It does not follow that one specific thing, and this won't work." And then we had to counter answer, hey, but I did study about this in a research that was done before, and according to them, it works. So
Okay, so
you
you
see
basically have
how,
these debates
yeah,
where your classmates are actually asking you questions and you have to answer them,
yes,
like, and your answer will be valid
yeah,
according to
and
the
the thing is,
experiment.
the professors would actually encourage that. They would actually join hands and, let them question you and let you answer them and actually have an active conversation about it. Then to, tell you what's right or wrong, they would
Hmm.
actually let you do that, and you see that once you start having that active process in your mind, you are able to think more about it, you are able to question more things, you are able to have this curious mindset around it. If this happens, why not that? If that happens, why this, right? And
Okay, let's just say that if a student, cannot perform a certain experiment and, he doesn't reach up to any conclusion. So what then? Would the teachers encourage him then once, the things have, not been working in the favor? So do you think that teachers would help him then when he's not able to perform the experiment, or maybe the experiment, is not giving any outcome? So yeah, what's your
um,
take on that?
I would say that the outcome is not what's seeked here. It's not getting the right result in the end of an experiment. It's more about doing the experiment and even if you conclude that it does not work, that is
Hmm.
your research. You found out that
Yeah.
it does not work, and that is a
Yeah.
valid research, and
Hmm.
that is what you will be graded for, and you will be getting a good grade on that as well. You're not
Hmm.
supposed to find the right thing. You're supposed to find things, and if you prove that something is wrong, you get an answer as no. That is fine. You found that. That is how it works here.
So science is actually, you'll also agree with me, Saksham, that science is all about debates and, actually going from wrong thing to more right thing, I would say. But it's not perfect. Science can, not be perfect because you will commit some errors because you're a human. Of course, you won't be able to find some results at the end of the experiment. That doesn't mean that, you are a failure. Science basically teaches you to, fall down and then get up back again and do the experiment once again
Yes,
and find out if you would
exactly.
get some other result.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more about you know getting somewhere than
Hmm.
about getting the right somewhere, because
Yeah.
a lot of times what helps us is to know that this won't work. you know
Hmm.
um, Sometimes it's better to know that this thing does not work because somebody else did it before. Being able to produce that is also a very big thing for science.
Hmm. And that's literally so sad, Saksham, I would tell you. And I'm a biology student, as you already know. I am pursuing my master's degree. We have never had such discussions or debates over a scientific topic. And that's literally so sad when I, listen to your story that, your classmates are questioning you and you are having full-fledged debates where you are, countering each other's opinions. And, that is the beauty of science. We can have different opinions, but still we both can be right.
Yeah.
We don't get the liberty to discuss science in the way it is. It has been a theoretical subject in India, and we literally do not know how to make it more practical and have these debates and discussions where we can counter each other and still be best of friends and still have no hard feelings for each other. So
Yes,
yeah, I guess
that is a hard thing to achieve. I think debates are only left for politics in India right now.
yeah, yeah, true, true. I totally agree with her.
And I think we should have this culture of having scientific debates as a valid form of debate.
Yeah,
We are missing out a lot if we don't.
yeah, of course, political debates are really important. But the thing is that we need to equally emphasize on science and technology as well, because that is something that's going to take our country forward and finally make it a developed nation.
Yes.
And we are still developing, and I think we should start these things so that we can, go towards being a developed nation. So, do you have this culture of writing practical files after every practical that you perform and show it to the professor, and that will fetch you marks? Like, do you
Um,
have this culture of
so
using pen, paper to do these things?
yeah, so about those practical files and notebooks, we are supposed to have a copy of what we did in the classroom, but
Hmm.
not as something of a copy paste, but of the things we noted down during the experiment.
Hmm.
If, for example, you were in a chem lab and you were to use a certain set of chemicals, yes, we are supposed to have information about those chemicals right at our hands. If something goes wrong, we should know how to deal with that, because in the end you would be the one who's responsible for your own safety, and safety
Yeah.
is very important here. They take it really seriously. Your safety and the
Hmm.
safety of others is very important. So yeah, having that data beforehand is encouraged. After that, whatever you do in the classroom, yes, you are supposed to keep a record of it, but
Hmm.
that does not mean you write it down. You write everything that is maybe in your practical file or something. Those may
Hmm.
be the practical methods that you are supposed to follow, but you're not supposed to write them down and submit it as something for grading. You do need to have a record of what you do in the classroom, though. You would have a lot of professors tell you that these lab notebooks are never clean. If your lab notebook is looking like a diamond sheet, it's not your lab notebook. It's something you did outside the lab. If you're doing something in the lab, you are prone to make mistakes, cut stuff, and that's all right with them. They want
Hmm.
to teach you how these things work, and they want to teach you how to organize yourself with the data, how
Hmm.
not to lose what you did in the lab. That is what they're telling you to do. They're not
Hmm.
telling you to do the notebook for marks, but rather to know that once you'll be doing this on your own in the future, you know how to preserve your data and not lose it somewhere.
Hmm. Okay. So, Saksham, one last question that I'd like to ask you, that we have discussed about both the countries and how, there is a difference in the education system. How do you think that India can improve? And, maybe we both can share our opinions on that. Because if we don't discuss this particular issue, we would never know where the problem is. So, how do you think, our country can do better in research work and everything? So,
I, I
what do you think?
I think we should stop emphasizing a lot on the marks and the grades,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
maybe have a better system of telling people how they did in the course. It should not all be dependent on exams. There should be
Hmm.
something else that can be done, and the practical things, the lab stuff, that should be treated with care as well. They should not
Hmm.
be treated as a secondary thing, especially for science students. They should be the
Hmm.
main thing in the course. They should be where you actually are able to do things by yourself and know how they were done before. The whole
Hmm.
purpose of studying science, I would say, is to uh, know how these things are done. And
Hmm.
if you
And
if you're
you need to explore other things as well, and maybe you can connect those things to science, and we build a literally new thing out of it, right?
Yes, when you have the environment, the liberty, and you have the encouragement to do that thing, I think only then can we move forward in any way. If we keep emphasizing on who got the highest marks and you
Yeah.
know who's got the best attendance, I don't know. There's one thing I don't seem to fit in really well with the attendance system in India. It really puts you in a jail kind of condition.
Yeah,
You
you have to meet 75% of the attendance mark, otherwise they won't let you sit in the examination.
Yes.
That is what most of the universities do. So otherwise, it would
I
not be possible.
I would like to say that they might have put this to get the students be there in the classrooms and but I don't think it's working the way it's supposed to do. You know,
Yeah,
No, I think if you don't have active listeners in the classroom and you don't have people who are present there mentally, there's no need of them being physically there. It just
yeah.
yeah, it's better to have 10 people who are actually learning and doing all the other stuff, talking about things and debating about it, rather than having 150 who sit there silently and don't actively participate.
And
Because
don't have any opinions,
yeah,
I would say.
because
Perspective.
that's just collecting crowd, and it also limits the other people who are actually willing to participate. So
Yeah, that's so true. And of course, we all should work on that and emphasize more on learning rather than cramming the stuff.
yes,
And
that's so true. I believe that once we form that culture somewhere, in the high schools, we
yeah,
can actually start seeing a change in the later. There needs to be a reform in how education is taken, and I think also the fact that a lot of people there just study for the degrees and not
yeah,
for doing anything.
not the
I
basic
have
skills
seen,
and
yeah, I have
everything.
seen
Yeah.
people here who would be paying their own tuition fee, and
Okay.
tuition's not cheap here. I would
Yeah, I
like
know.
to say that tuition's not cheap here. Even if you are not an international student, you still have to pay a certain amount, which is not less in any way. And
Hmm.
people do pay their tuition themselves, so they value it more.
Hmm.
If you're paying it by yourself from your own pocket, you value it more. And I think somewhere if we start doing that in India as well, you know, if
Yeah.
people value this more, they will actually have a greater concentration about it as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Saksham, for joining us and helping us so much, and telling us how we can improve, and what all things we are lacking in our system, and of course we should work on that. And yeah, so we'll have more such conversations in the future about science and biology. And that is what I want other people to know, that science is not only about, cramming things from your book. It's all about conversations. It's all about debates. It's all about, having fun and doing experiments together and reaching up to a conclusion. So that is what science is all about. It's the beauty of science. It can bring all of us together. And if we don't have such fragile egos, of
Yes,
course.
I think we should all leave the ego somewhere else when we do the scientific debate, because it's not about telling who's right or wrong, it's about finding the answer. And
And I like what you said, that science is not about you. It's actually about the betterment of the world, I guess. It's not
yes,
really about you. You're going to help other people as well.
yes,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
one of the goals is to, find out the trueness and and being able to produce something that's helpful for us out of it. And once you leave that, it's not about you, right? You get to see the world in a whole different way. You get to see that there's more things and there's more ways that it works. And I
Hmm.
think that's where you raise the spirit and you raise the emotions to do better with the science. It's not
Yeah.
about you.
It's not about you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Aksham. And we'll meet soon again with another conversation.
Yes,
And thank you so much for joining us.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Gitanjali, and I hope to see you soon again.
Yeah.
And to the audience, stay connected. We-
Okay. So, okay, Saksham. Bye
all
bye.
right, bye.
Have a good day.